Hey. Hopefully, can you hear me now? Please. I'm just gonna wait for other people to hopefully catch up and for the chat to catch up. And hopefully. Yay. Okay, thank you so much. I'm so sorry, guys. Goodness. Let me just go ahead. I'm gonna delete the other one so nobody gets confused. Not that it's still live anyway, but thank you for your patience. This is the first time I've had these issues. I've done a good job so far. Content, live, and delete forever. Okay, now hopefully everybody has made it over here. Okay, there we go. Hi everybody. Thank you so much for your comments on the other stream too. Yay. 20k. Zebra Nips. No, we just started. You are not late. Hi Pete. Hi. Hello everybody. So thank you very, very much for joining me. What I was saying in the other chat before when you couldn't hear me is that this is the Dark Matter Book Club. So that's what we'll be talking about today. If you read the book with us, wonderful. If not, and you're just here to hang out, that is totally fine too. But the focus of this stream will be the book Dark Matter. I am looking over here at times just to monitor the chat because that's where my monitor is. Eventually, I'll probably change that setup. And also, you will notice that I only have the one microphone going today. And that is because somebody informed me that I have only had mono audio in the live streams this whole time. And I did not realize. I thought it was stereo. So I'm trying to figure out how to do stereo, and the setup I'm using right now, I can't do it. I need to use a third-party OBS software, and I was having issues with the stream link and getting it to work. I tried for a long time earlier today, but I'll figure it out in the future. So hello, hi Michael, hi Richo, nice to see you again. Hi Jose, hi Joanna, hi Haley. I am fantastic. Elias Luck says I should do all Harry Potter books for the book club. I love the Harry Potter books. It might be fun to do one of the Harry Potter books in the future for the book club because I haven't read them in a long time. I never reread them, so the last time I read the Harry Potter books was 14 years ago when I read Deathly Hallows when it came out. So yeah, maybe that would be fun to do. Okay, so thank you again for joining me. And today we're discussing dark matter. And I have very mixed feelings about dark matter. I thought it was good. I thought it was exciting, but there were some things about it that I would have changed, some things I'd like to see more of. So first off, I'm just going to go right out the gate. Yeah, 14 years ago. It came out when I was 18, and I am now 32. So yeah, it's that old. I read the first one when I was in 4th grade. So yeah. So just to start, the first question I have is, what would you rate Dark Matter if you happen to read it with me? And you can comment that in the chat with an explanation if you'd like. And I think I would rate the book a 4, maybe. I would give it like a 5 for premise and a 3.5 for story, because I thought the premise was like crazy and super exciting. And there's so much that I wanted it to do that it didn't do, because I think a lot of reviews and stuff say at its core, it is a love story, and it kind of is, and I didn't want it to be. Like, I wanted it to be a science fiction novel, which is what it was, but it really turned into just, like, a love story between him and Daniela, which is fine if that's what it wanted to be, but that's not what I wanted it to be. Um, J. Liz Friz says she would give it, is that a 4 out of 5 or a 4.5? Looks like a 4 out of 5, and she wanted to add an epilogue. I 100% agree with that statement. I read it on Kindle too, and it said I had 10% left. So I was like, oh, okay, like it's gonna wrap up and stuff, and then just boom, it abruptly ended at 90% because it had an afterword and some other stuff. So I was expecting more, and then when I flipped the page with the button and there was nothing there, I was like, what? So yeah, I wanted an epilogue. And Joanna says a 4.5, which I think is fair. It was exciting. It was a page turner. It had a really good premise, but I just wanted more. Like, I wanted an epilogue, and I really, really wanted him to explore those other worlds more. Um, so yeah, I think what I want more than anything is Amanda's story. Like, I would love a sequel with Amanda's story, with just her trying to find a world that she wants to stay in. Um, I think that would be really cool because then you'd get to see more exploration of the worlds. Ryan Smith says 4 out of 5. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think it hovers right around a 4 for me. Um, but I enjoyed it. 4 is a good rating. Let me just pull it up here, and I have some questions I looked up online that I thought were really fun. J. Liz says, yes, I want to know where she went. I wanted her to go back to that futuristic world and explore more. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. 100%. That's what I wanted. I'm super interested in future stuff anyway, and like people's creative visions of what the future might be like. So I thought that's probably where she ended up, that future world. But I really wanted to know more about it and to see other worlds too, but I really wanted more of that future world. Joanna says, what was your least favorite character, or your favorite character and your least favorite? My favorite character was Amanda, just because I think she's the one, a lot of them irritated me. I don't think we really knew enough about Daniela for her to be a potential favorite character, and our main character, whose name is eluding me all of a sudden, even though I just finished the book 2 days ago. What's your name, bro? Jason. Jason kind of annoyed me a little bit, just because, I don't know, he was a little whiny. Yes, thank you, Jason. And I get why he was whiny, but it just seemed like, I don't know, he just didn't seem really happy at any point, except at the end when he was back with Daniela, I guess. But at the beginning, he's like in this stagnating marriage where he's like, oh, what could have been? And I guess maybe that's a normal feeling. Um, and then all this stuff happens to him. I don't know. I didn't love Jason, but he was okay. But I liked Amanda. I found her really intriguing. And I thought Daniela was kind of a sweetheart though, because even in the world where Jason left her and she was a successful artist, um, the one where she gets shot in the head. um, Even in that world, she was so willing to help him and believe him, and I just thought that was extremely kind trait. And least favorite, if you remember his name, because I don't, like the boss of the laboratory, he was just like such a stereotypical villain character, like just do anything for the science. it's all about this project. I just didn't think I thought it was, I don't know, there was nothing likable about him. Uh, yeah, Anakin Skywalker syndrome, yeah. Um, I don't know, what do you guys think about that? Who was your favorite character? Did you have a favorite character? I forgot my straw, so I'm gonna get lipstick on my glass. I hate that. Um, or your least favorite character? Chat is quiet, and that's okay. If you think of it later, uh, I liked Ryan in the Jason 2 world. Oh yeah, was Ryan was the one that made the ampules. He made the drug. Remind me. I literally just finished it, but I cannot remember names. And if so, then I liked him too. Like, he was very concerned about the situation. Okay, thank you. Yeah, and I feel like he got really a raw deal out of it because he was just like freaked out about how Jason was acting. He went to the lab and then it just killed him. And they killed his girlfriend because he always loved Daniela. Louisa said, "No worries, Louisa. It's come and go. You're good. You didn't miss much." Biggest surprise as you followed Jason through the many twists laid out. Oh man. I think like I should have expected it, but it was sort of a big shocker to me when he made that email and logged on, and you saw there were so many other Jasons that had found their way back to his world because I didn't think about how every time he made a choice in the different worlds, he branched off and created a new version of him. So that was kind of like, whoa, it's mind boggling to me. And it actually made me feel a little bit like anxious, um, because there would be just infinite versions of him, and that's like kind of terrifying. Uh, what do others think? What would be the biggest surprise you encountered in the book, or the thing that surprised you the most? Rodrigo says, one of my first Kindle readings. I gotta say, I love this book a lot. Very nice to see you talking about it here, Veda. Lots of books. Thank you, Rodrigo. Thank you. How long ago did you read the book? Um, I hadn't read it until this month for book club, and I just finished it 2 days ago. And I had it on my list, but I was kind of waiting to get around to it, and I'm glad I read it. Is We're gonna stay on topic here. Um, so, let's see. Um, so I think Jayla's already brought it up in the like worlds that Jason went to, but um, I definitely would have liked to see more of the future world. Was there uh, was there a world that well, what world did you think was the most like upsetting or scary? Um, because I don't know, I thought the freezing world was really freaky because, there was some sort of catastrophic event that caused it. But also, it was pretty awful, the world where everybody was so sick with that plague, especially right now, oh my gosh. And his son had died, and he had to watch Daniela, or he had to kill Daniela, basically. It was pretty awful. Um, so yeah, those worlds were pretty freaky, and I'm sure there would have been the other Jasons experienced that were even worse because of how they ended up. Um, like saying how they'd seen such awful things and that some of them were so willing to kill to get back to their world with Daniela. Um, they had probably seen some really awful stuff, so I'm sure some of those words were really terrifying. To the chat, Infinite Veda ASMR channel. Yeah, infinite content. Rodrigo says, I read it in March or April 2020. I heard that it may be turned into a series or a movie. If you like the author style, it suggests this other one recursion. I'll have to look that up because I did like the author's style, and I hope he writes a sequel with Amanda. Or I would love to see it as a series. I think the book as is, without any changes, would also make a good movie. But I'd prefer to see it as a series because then I would have the hope that they would continue the series on, and you'd get to see more worlds that weren't mentioned in the book, and hopefully get more of Amanda's story. Um, Colin says, "Yeah, I wanted to see more of the future world." Yes. Jay Liz, the part in the hallway where Jason, who was bleeding, ran past someone's free. Right. Ugh, that was really creepy, and I think when I read that, I was like, oh yeah, that would be a great movie scene or TV show scene. So I could definitely see it being adapted. Linda, hi, I love your book clubs. Thank you, Linda. Appreciate that. Sarah says hi. Hi, Sarah. So yeah, let's see. Um, some of the questions were better than others. Um, what makes Jason 1 stand out amongst the others? Is our allegiance to him a matter of perspective, or is there something fundamental about him that makes him more deserving of Daniela and Charlie? And I'm going to type that out because that is kind of a long question. No worries, Ken. It's really nice to see you. Oh my God. I hope you're okay. That's terrifying. The shooting in my apartment. I'm so sorry. I hope you and your daughter are okay. That's very scary. Let me just type out the question here. Jason 1 stand out. Others. Allegiance in a matter of perspective, or there's something special about him. Oop, I typed the question out. Rodrigo says this series we can see a lot more about their development, and there are some passages I can already see a very nice action thriller scene in my mind. Yeah, I agree. Kent says yes, we are okay now. I'm glad. Yeah, that's terrifying. I've never had to experience anything like that, though. When I was a teacher, there was a shooting outside of my school, and it was really it was scary. We had to go on lockdown with the kids, and it was at the very end of the day, so they were being dismissed at the time. We had to get them all back in the school as quickly as possible on lockdown. It was terrifying. But so I think our Jason 1, I think most of our allegiance to him really is because we follow him the whole time. And yeah, he did have a lot of love that spread to the multiverse for Daniela and stuff. But I don't think there was anything particularly like special about him versus the other Jasons. Not talking about Jason 2. Jason 2 is a different person, but the ones that split off in the multiverse, I don't think there's anything really that makes him super special compared to them. However, some of them I think had seen some things that made them so damaged that they no longer could have been with Daniela or been the hero of the book, um, because they were so changed. But I think there were definitely other versions of Jason that were just as deserving, like the ones that willingly stepped aside and let him take Daniela and Charlie. So I think most of our allegiance to him is just from seeing his perspective throughout. Um, I think we see Jason 1 as the original because he is, as we read on our dimension. Absolutely, yeah. Even though there are others that split off from him, we don't see them as the original, though they have as much claim as he does, just because we didn't follow their whole story. Colin says nothing was special about him. I think we were on his side because he was the one we followed. Yep. Joanna, I know this has nothing to do with the book, but can you please do more doctor role plays? They're amazing. Or could you do some big sister role plays? That would be fun. That's a good idea for a big sister. I haven't done one, and I am working on another doctor role play right now. It's another Doctor House call role play, so not my most popular one, but I had a request to do a follow up to it, so I definitely have some doctor role plays coming in the future. Kent, I think the Jason 2 went about it in a self-centered way. Yeah, absolutely. Very self-centered. Like to just kick somebody out of their life. And even though he justified it by being like, I let you experience this career success that you'd never found, like, that's not a fair choice to make. Like, this man had no idea what you were doing to him. Um, so it's not really his call that he get to experience this world. That's not right. Um, Jayla says, remember those pick your ending books? This could have easily been one, and we picked a different event. We would have gotten a different Jason. Yeah, that's a really, really good comparison. Um, I totally agree. Like, at any point, if it had branched off a different way, our Jason would have been different. So, yeah. Jason 1 never did rob from other Jasons. Yeah, I mean, unlike Jason 2, our Jason didn't really wrong anybody in any way. Um, he was just trying to get back to his life, just like all of the other versions of himself. So there was nothing wrong with what he did at all. Um, but I think our allegiance to him comes from the fact that we followed his story. I agree with Jay Liz Frizz. Jason 1 seemed to have thought more than himself and how it affected other Jason versions. Yeah, I think Daniela kind of helped him see that too, because she was thinking about all the other versions and how they were texting her and how they're essentially her husband too. Um, and I think from her perspective, that would have been so sad because you never want to hurt the person you love. And if there's multiple versions of that person and they're all essentially like the same person, that's a hard choice to make because they can't all have her, you know. Um, Many of the decisions in Dark Matter centered around career and family. If you had to choose, um, whose life would you rather live, Jason 1 or Jason 2, and why? So, Joanna, good call. Yep, that's really funny. We picked the same question at the same time. No, that's great. Hi, Tilly. Nice to see you. I would say Jason, well, a hybrid actually, because I think especially for me in my life, one of the best things or the best thing about my life is my husband for me. Um, and I'm so lucky to have him. So I think any world or any decision where I didn't end up with him, I wouldn't want that. So I think that's more like Jason 1's life. But at the same time, I don't want children. So like I think mine would be more of a hybrid between the two lives. I'm good, Tilly. How are you? So I don't know. Are you guys more career focused or more um, family focused? I guess would be the question. I did a little bit of the fast and aggressive in my my last live, but I haven't made a video on it. I really struggle with it. I love watching videos like that, but I think it will take some more practice before I can make one. J Liz, Colin is going to comment for me now because I'm driving. We're married. Tyrion watching me today. That's really sweet. Okay. So, Colin and J Liz, I thought that if one of the other Jasons really wanted Daniela, they could have gotten back in the box and thought of a world that had no other original Jasons in it. Yeah, that's a good point. Like they could keep looking for um like a world with another Daniela that they could have been with. I think maybe that's what they did afterwards, just as a second place type of thing. Um, but I think the primary focus was definitely getting back to their Daniela because in all of the worlds they went to, it wasn't quite the same. But I totally agree. And I think maybe that's what some of them decided to do when they couldn't have the real thing. Brinky says, hello, how are you doing? I hope you and your family are staying safe. Lots of love. You too, thank you. Tilly says it sounded good last time. I'll try more. Kent, I'm family focused, but I would be able to work with a career too. Yeah, and I think it's almost unfair to act like Jason 1 wasn't successful in his career because I mean he's a professor. It's not like he ended up I don't know, with no job at all. Being a professor is a pretty prestigious career. It's not I don't know. I don't want to bring up any career because everything is valued, but there's definitely less I don't know. There's definitely worse careers. Uh Vivek, hi Veda. Hi Vivek. Rodrigo, I wouldn't choose career, in my opinion, mainly because its focus on it made him lose everything that was beside him before, especially his love and support. Yeah, and I think they were putting them as like polar opposites almost. Like this Jason focused totally on family, and this Jason focused totally on career. When I wouldn't say that was so much the case. Like Jason 2, yes, 100% career focused. Basically, he slept in the lab, worked 24/7, had nothing outside of his job. But Jason 1 had other things. Like he did have a career, he had a family, and just seemed like he was much more well-rounded than the question makes it seem because it wasn't just like all he had was his family. Kat, I wonder how Charlie affected the new world his parents went into. That's a fantastic question. And actually, one of the questions that I was going to ask too is, what do you think that world looked like? And I I couldn't answer that question myself because we don't know enough about Charlie. I just think, yeah, we know a little bit about Daniela and we know quite a bit about Jason, but I don't think oh, sorry for the car noises if you hear that. It's loud. I think that's a motorcycle. We did not know enough about Charlie to really guess what the world would look like. Though I think based on the description of just before they walked out, we knew it was going to be a good place. So we know that they had a happy ending, but I don't know. Maybe it was a little bit futuristic, like I would hope. Kent says, I don't use comic book logic where the choice is being a hero or a family person. I think family and career can be made to work together. That is my way of thinking. Absolutely. And if there was a sequel, it would start off without Charlie. Yeah, I think I would like that. If the sequel, and I would love a sequel or a TV show that goes into more of a story, would start off with the world they end up in and Amanda's story and flips between the two. I think that would be really, really good. I would like that. Edkarsh says, God bless you. You are so humble. Thank you, Edkarsh. That's very sweet. Thank you. And Colin and Jayla say it's just a million copies of the girls he was talking. That's so funny. It's just a million copies of the girl he was talking to, right? Oh my god. I could have punched him when he sorry, that was loud. I could have punched him when he said he used his phone. He had to let that girl know he didn't just like abandon her. He didn't just take off. Like, oh my god, you little brat. But isn't that such a teenage thing to do though? Like that relationship was probably so important to him because it's his first like girlfriend type thing and he has to let her know that he wasn't just blowing her off, even though their lives are in danger. So I thought that it was realistic and funny, but God, he pissed me off. But in the end, he did ghost her for real, though. Yeah, he did. He had no other choice, I guess, but um, definitely just took off in the end. I am, I don't know. I I was a little tiny bit surprised that Daniela and Charlie were just so willing to leave um, their world, like everything behind for Jason, kind of especially Charlie. Um, but I mean, it makes sense, I guess. Uh, but it's just strange to me to take your child from everything. So I don't know. I would have made the same decision, I think, but as a teenager, that would have been rough. Like you're leaving all your friends and stuff are super important at that age. You love your family, but most of teenagers would rather spend their time with their friends or their girlfriend or boyfriend. So I think that might have been a hard thing for him to do. Oh, Charlie might have an untainted view. Jason had a lot of tainted adult views that may warp it. Not sure how to say it. Yeah, I think his world might have been a lot more pure, especially because he was there with his family. And they were making him calm and stuff. So I think his world would have probably been a really nice place versus some of the horrors that his parents might have pictured. Brinky, hey Veda, what are your hobbies? Hi Brinky. I'll talk a little bit more about I'm gonna save that question for my Q&A video, but I'll write it down. What are your hobbies? Because I got a similar question for my Q&A video. Um, So I'm going to save that and stick mostly to the book. But I will say, I do like to read, obviously. And for a while, I had been going to the gym a lot, but I stopped. I need to go back. Wesley says, hope you're well, Veda. I'm not feeling great on a downhill slope currently, and it's not slowing down. I'm so sorry, Wesley. That's awful. Have you been sick? I am. I haven't felt fantastic the last couple days. I've had a bad headache, but nothing um, too bad, and I'm feeling better now. I hope you feel better soon too. Um, Let me find another question real quick. Sorry for the silence. I am fortunate right now though because I have two cats upstairs and they have been very kind to actually stay upstairs instead of coming down here and jumping up on the desk, which is what they like to do when I'm working. They're very sweet. I don't like most of these questions. What do you think your alternate universe would look like if you were to have to go to an alternate universe? Good, my neck. And I think that's a hard one for me because I would have Jason's issue where I'd be trying to get back here to my husband, I think. So that would be tough. What are the names of your cats? Tyrion and Veda. Um, I said in another video that Veda is not actually my name. I use it online. I'm going to continue to use it because I think it's a beautiful name. But Veda is actually the name of my girl cat. So that's our secret. Um, I think I think my world would be futuristic. Um, that one's the one that I was most interested in, and I don't know if you guys have like looked into. This is so ridiculous. Cryogenic freezing. My husband is obsessed with being cryogenically frozen when he dies because he wants to see the future. So I guess we're gonna do that. I don't know. I hate the idea of it. It terrifies me. But I also don't think they'd ever wake anybody up, even if they could. Why would they? But yeah, it definitely would be a future world. Kent says, how do you think Danielle in uh, the end handled the situation of the Jason lottery once he gave Danny a purple heart? She did such a good job. I agree with her. Like at this point, she's kind of like us in the aspect that, we followed this Jason, so he is our Jason. While there are other Jasons that might be very similar, I think because he was the first one to reach her, um, that was her Jason, and the lottery wouldn't have. Um, she wasn't going to go with that, and I totally get it. I kind of agree with what happened to her, or what she her opinion on it. Thank you, Anna. Michael says, isn't it crazy to how bananas expensive to get cryogenically frozen? Why does it terrify you? Yeah, it's very expensive. So I think like you can pay your life insurance can go toward it. So that's what he wants to do. um, and it's terrifying to me because I don't know. I think if we were to wake up in the future together, that would be one thing. But if it were like, if anything happened and it were just me and I came back in the future, I wouldn't want it. Like, I wouldn't want to be there when none of my family or my husband was there. So it freaks me out. And I don't like to think about death anyway and stuff like that. Um, yeah. Anna says, you're my queen. Thank you, Anna. You're sweet. ASMR queen. Kent says, I think I would be where religion didn't slow down science, but I would still like to see Star Trek philosophy. Yeah, I think I agree with you. I'm not a religious person. So yeah, a very, very science-based world and like Star Trek world. And that's one of my husband's things about wanting to be cryogenically frozen. He wants to wake up in Star Trek, I think, with all that, the technology and the holodeck and the exploration and all of that. Oh gosh, that's very kind of you. You don't have to do that. Really, that is never ever expected. Um, I very sweet though. I appreciate it. Thank you. Um, Anna says you're better than GB for real, which is like, thank you. GB's fantastic, and she does so much for the ASMR community. I think she's such gosh, she's so unproblematic and just seems like such a wonderful person. Um, I do not compare my ASMR to hers in any way. She is way up there, but I appreciate that. Retype in my comment, you should watch a French movie on Netflix, Oxygen. It's about a woman waking up in a cryogenic unit. Oh, that sounds good. I'm gonna put that down. Oxygen. Oxygen. That's interesting. I'll look at it. Hi, Randy. Can another world I would like where the tech would allow you to keep the telomeres keep you age 25 years old. Yes, sir. Yes. If I could stop aging right here, that would be perfect. I'll stay right here. Yeah. Um, like physically, right here is good. Mentally, if I could keep developing, that'd be great. But physically, I'll stay right here. I'm very good, Randy. How about you? Zebra Nip says that's kind of a good plot for a book. A couple gets frozen, but one of them doesn't make it right. Oh, God, that would break my heart. That'd be so sad. Um, I'm sorry to do this, guys, but I'm going to grab a little bit more water. I will be right back in about 30 seconds. Okay, I'll be right back. Don't leave. Okay, so going back through, the Abbey of the Everyman is yelling at me and saying, "Why is it so dark?" Um, so I'm assuming you're familiar with my channel and with ASMR. Um, if not, I can explain a little bit more about that. But I do my videos a little bit darker when it's not a role play, just because I have had a lot of people ask me to and complain about the brightness keeping them up because a lot of people use these videos to relax or sleep. So that's why it's so dark. Yeah, that's all. Anna, seriously, I can't tell you. I can tell you, insanely research all of, especially your medical videos. Amazing. You could literally pass as a doctor or nurse. Thank you so much. I like to do really realistic from a medical role plays most of the time. So I do a lot of research for them. Like the one I'm working on for tomorrow, I wanted to film today, um, but I was like, I have to order a couple more props. This isn't going to be right without more props. So that's a thing too. I just love buying props and stuff to make them realistic as well. Brinky says, I've never had a chat with anyone on YouTube and you are the first. It feels so great, like I'm talking to a friend. Thank you. Yeah, I actually very rarely watch lives. So I don't really know if I even do it right, but I have a lot of fun doing the live and getting to talk to people. Anna says, can tell. Yep, I got that. Michael, hydration through all the nations. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got my water. And I grabbed a straw. I also had like a ton of smoked almonds before this, and they are so salty. So I feel like my throat is closing up. Let's see. It is good to have water. Yep. I think if you could halt your age at 25 years and keep up on accomplishments there, like science developments, scientists wouldn't have to wait for the next generation to catch up. Yeah, that's that's a really good point. Because you would know it, well, assuming that your memory was very good, um, you would accumulate so much knowledge. Uh, but I just wonder how much knowledge our brains can actually hold. Like, I don't know, you start to forget stuff after a while, so I wonder if it really would be like you only have very clear memories of your last 100 years or something like that, which would be kind of an interesting premise too, like, people live forever, but they really only can remember the last 200 years or 100 years of their life. It'd be kind of a interesting concept. Um, How about the ASMR multiverse? Yeah. Everyone smash that like button. Thanks, Randy. Um, Karsh says, everyone is special in the ASMR artist world. Your voice is calming and peaceful. More than GB. Thank you. It's really sweet. People definitely have their strengths, and I listen to different ASMR artists for different things. Um, like um, Southern ASMR sounds. I really love her role plays. They're so creative. And then I'll listen to Grace V just because I love her voice. Not that I don't love Mary's voice. I love Mary's voice. That's Southern ASMR sounds, but um, I think different ASMR artists fall into different niches and categories and have different strengths, which is awesome because it also helps me to not get tingle immunity because I can switch from one to another. Did anyone else think the cops would have to investigate all of the bodies in the cabin? Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like, if they had decided to stay in that world, like how could they have stayed in that world when they're finding all of these Jason bodies? So I was like, oh man, this seems to be um, they've gone past the point of no return here, where if he stays in this world, like he's not going to ever be able to live even a semi-normal life, even if there were no other Jasons. Uh, Veda, you are like Mr. Rogers' favorite. Yes. Very wholesome. I'm sensing unholiness. Okay. Yes, very unholy, very evil here. Lots of evil. Uh, Madeline says, "What's your favorite ASMR sound?" I like hang on. Scissor hand. Yes, hide. There we go. uh, what's your favorite ASMR sound? I like soft spoken, really. Triggers don't generally do much for me, like sound videos and stuff. I don't watch those. Um, so I really just like soft spoken or whispering. Uh, and Adeb says, Veda, what is your name? I'm gonna stick with Veda, Adeb, just for privacy reasons. Um, and because that's what I would like to continue going by online and with my channel. But I understand the curiosity. And Brinky says, what ASMR sound do you not like? Um, Sometimes eating sounds, really loud crinkling sounds, stuff like that. Sounds don't do anything for me. Visions. I wonder if you have many beta versions of Room Room like they had a Jason blog. I think we probably wouldn't get along. We probably hate each other. But yeah, the book. I don't know if I really have any more questions about the book. I feel like I've kind of failed you guys this month because normally I go a lot longer and I'll stay on for a bit longer and just talk to you. But in terms of book club type content, I think that's pretty much my thoughts on it. If anybody wants to add anything in the chat, any questions that you had or thoughts that you had, I'd be happy to continue talking about dark matter. But yeah, I want Amanda's story, and I want more about the future world. I want more worlds. And I didn't love that it turned out to be a love story because I was expecting more of a science fiction story. But it was still really good. This straw kind of tastes like soap. Just a little tiny bit. Because my husband washed it for me today. He did the dishes earlier. But this kind of tastes like soap. One time, he washed my water bottle for me, and I brought it to work the next day, and it was just full on, like, just soap taste because he didn't fully rinse it. It was funny. Uh, Kent says, "I think the love story worked." I agree. I do think it worked, and I think just because it was such a the primary motivator for him getting back to his world to be with his wife and his son, um, I think it worked. I wanted something different. How did you come to the name Veda? Why did you name Veda ASMR? Is there any reason? Yeah. So my girl cat, who is beautiful, um, is named Veda. So that's why it became Veda ASMR. Which movie stayed with you or moved you? Um, I watch a lot of horror movies. So I don't really there's nothing I've watched recently that's really impacted my life in such a way. Um, but I will talk more about my favorite movies in my Q&A video coming up because that's one of the questions I got. Kent says, "Would it work any other way?" I think it would have been a totally different book the way I imagined it. Um, because really what I wanted was more exploration of the world and stuff. So I think I might have actually enjoyed um if the book were longer, like twice as long even, or if he had gotten back to Daniela and Charlie a lot sooner, and then it focused more on them trying to find a good world to live in after the fact. Um, I think that would have been interesting because then we would have gotten that explorative aspect, while it still could have been a love story. So that might have been cool. Ella, hi, Ella. Hi. Soap. Delicious. Um, if it was a series and they wouldn't rush the world so fast. Agreed. Yeah, I want a TV series. Especially because I don't know. I feel like you could also peek into the other Jason's experiences and see some of those worlds that were so horrific that they had to go to that really drove them to kill and be so different from our Jason. So that would be interesting. Alice says, "Oh my god, I thought you were British. I love it." No, I'm American. Yeah. It's funny because I feel like I have a very standard American accent, but I get a lot of people asking me where I'm from. Uh, like my accent is different. I I don't hear it as different. I don't think it is, but I think that's kind of funny. I don't think I got the full effect of what was happening to Jason. Yeah, I can understand that. I think one really big pivotal point was when he had to kill Daniela in that world. Um, and I do think it was a little bit rushed how we just kind of heard about him going to all these different versions of Chicago where it was almost but not quite his world. And then how he, he basically ended up sleeping in the alley outside of his house and stuff. Like, we could definitely see his de evolution. Wiping dust off of something. We could definitely see his de evolution into almost madness, but I think it was a little bit rushed. Though I didn't need to see a million different versions of Chicago that were just slightly different, you know? So I guess that would have been the only appropriate way to do it, but I wanted more worlds. Um, and Dev wants to know if I can make any ASMR sounds now. Hi, Alessia. This is an ASMR book club, so we're talking about the book Dark Matter. And if you're not familiar with ASMR, it's autonomous sensory meridian response. People use it for relaxation, and some people get tingles from it. There are a lot of good videos on YouTube explaining it. Make some. I I don't know. I did a live, follow my instructions ASMR type video. Mostly this is just talking though. What is one thing that gives you ASMR without fail? Um, I don't know if there's necessarily a one thing that does. I just say soft speaking or whispering, but it doesn't always give me ASMR because I watch a lot of ASMR. Um, so I do get tingle immunity sometimes, and sometimes I don't even use it for ASMR. I use it a lot for just background noise and relaxation. Ella, what is your favorite horror movie on Netflix? Of videos, I'm going through my 10-year exams, 6 week in the UK. Oh, congratulations. Good luck on your exams. My favorite horror movie on Netflix? Oh, I don't know. I don't even know what's on Netflix right now. Um, I have mentioned in the past that my favorite horror movie is probably Rosemary's Baby. And I've done a video on horror movies in general, ones that I like, so hope maybe some of those are on Netflix. I can't even remember the ones I said, but I really like Rosemary's Baby, Cabin in the Woods, The Babadook is really good. Um, yeah, I don't know. Strangers is scary. I liked the others with Nicole Kidman. That was good. But Rosemary's Baby is definitely my favorite. And as far as scary goes, I think the Babadook is one that scared me a lot. Paranormal Activity, the first one, terrified me. Uh, Ken Reed says, and I think I would have liked to know what happened to the previous people that went into the box. Maybe the other people, like the world they landed in. Why didn't Jason meet any of the previous explorers? Yeah, that would be a really interesting branch off too, Ken. If they did a TV show, we could see more of what the other explorers um, ended up doing. Um, Also, I would have liked to see what Jason 2 saw before he decided to stay in Jason 1's world because he even said, um, he said to Daniela at one point, and that led me to realize that this is definitely not the first world he ended up in. I think he said, if there are multiple worlds out of all of the millions of possibilities, I know no two versions of us would be as happy as we are right now, or something like that, paraphrasing poorly. But it just shows you that he definitely saw a lot of other worlds before he decided to take over Jason 1's life. So I'd like to see what he went through before he made it there. Um, Also, the fact that he was gone for 14 months, he was definitely going through some stuff. Uh, you're welcome, Alicia. Um, Kat, there was ASMR elements when Jason was in the box. Were there? Ella says, "Oh my gosh, I love that movie." Maybe Rosemary's Baby is what you were referring to when I was talking about that. Kent Veda, movie critic. Yeah, I watch a lot of movies and TV, so. Hi, Ciola. Just woke up and I'm watching this. Oh man, what time is it where you are? It's 6 p.m. where I am. I'm in Eastern Standard Time. My neck is stiff. Ella says in the UK it's 11 p.m. Yeah. Luckily it's a Friday, so you don't have to get to bed too early, probably. Brinky says, what is about horror movies that makes it your favorite genre? I'm terrified of seeing even thumbnails of horror movie trailers. I don't know. I hated horror when I was really little. Even like as a young teen, I didn't like horror. It really upset me. But I don't know. I like it now. I like things that are scary. In the box, there's a lot of sensory elements. Yeah, especially with I think with the drug. I'm from the UK and it's just past 11 at night. 7:30 a.m. on a Saturday for me, Rich House. Rachel, you get up early for a Saturday. Oh my goodness. I get up at 7:30 for work on weekdays since I work from home right now. I would never get up at 7:30 on a weekend. I am not a morning person. Kent says, I missed the first 15 minutes. I will catch up on Dark Matter book. Yeah. You can, I always make them watchable after the fact, Kent, so you can go back and watch the first 15 minutes if you want. Amalia. Hi, Amalia. It's 6 a.m. Saturday at my place. Oh my goodness. Why are you up so early? Aren't you exhausted? Ella says, I haven't been at school because I needed surgery on my knee. Oh, that's awful. Oh, I'm so sorry. How did you hurt your knee? Another car noise. They're so loud. Waiting for the chat to catch up. Yeah. Okay, guys. So we pretty much fully discussed dark matter, and we've talked about a couple other things. I think at this point, I am going to end the chat momentarily, but just to remind you, let me just read what's in here. The Song of Achilles might be a different multiverse. Greek gods seem like another world. Yeah. And Ella says, I was messing with my friends last July. Maybe be careful next time. Yes. Yes, Ken. Intro the next book. Yes, sir. So for the month of June, we will be reading The Song of Achilles. And that will be June Book Club will be on Friday, June 25th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we'll discuss the Song of Achilles then, and I hope I can see you all there. I'll be putting up a poll soon-ish to ask about what you want to read for July. So for now, feel free to start the Song of Achilles, and we will talk about it on June 25th. It was a delight chatting with you. Thank you so much for the amazing ASMR videos. Have a lovely evening. Thank you, Prinky. It's very sweet. So thank you so much for joining me, guys. I will see you very soon in another recorded ASMR video. Ken asked if I would do an ASMR Greek goddess. I think that would be really fun. Maybe after we read the book, maybe I can base it off of something we see in there. I have a lot of plans for videos coming up. I have a Viking one that I want to do at some point that I think would be really cool. Though I look nothing like a Viking, but I think it'd be fun. Anyway, thank you for joining me, guys. I'll see you soon in a recorded video and hopefully do another live at something soon. And to be notified of lives, I think if you click the bell for notifications, it will notify you when I go live or when I post a video. So I think that will help. Daniel says, what's your favorite book? I actually got that question in my Q&A, Daniel. So I'm going to be talking about that more there. And I really have to think about it. I think in terms of a book that really influenced me in a way that I felt a deep connection with, I'd have to say the Harry Potter series, because I started that book when I was 9 years old and didn't finish the series until I was 18 when the last book came out. So I grew up with it and I grew up with the characters. So I don't think anything will ever replace the Harry Potter books for me, but I definitely have some other favorite books I'll talk about in my Q&A. I'll look into it, Ken, and see if there's a better way. I think this one got a little messed up too because my first video that I put up for the live, the audio wasn't working correctly. I messed up a setting. And I had to do a new setup real quick that people switched over to. Thank you, Ella. That's really sweet. Thank you. And thank you, Daniel. I appreciate that. Daniel says you're amazing. Thank you. And Ella says you're super pretty. Thanks, guys. You're really sweet. But anyway, I'm going to take off and probably take some Excedrin because my headache is coming back. I really hope you feel better soon, Wesley. And thank you, everybody, for joining me and participating, especially those of you that read the book and were able to talk to me about it. But everybody who participated, I really appreciate it. Okay. I will see you very soon, guys, and I hope you have a fantastic, fantastic night.